Queens of Queens Radio, my beautiful co-host.
Queen Shavaka.
We're here every Friday night from 7 to 9. We have a special guest this evening. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, TK Daniels.
Hey, TK
Hey,
Daniels.
TK Daniels.
So, TK, what did you bring to share with us?
Well, I brought some product from my body care line. I brought my book, and I brought a story, and I brought my message and my testimony, and
You have a wonderful story. I actually, she gave me some of her product about a week and a half ago, and I've been using it. And they're all natural products. It's absolutely wonderful. So I really, and she also shared with me her story, her amazing story of how she got to this point, this wonderful journey. I know you were saying that before you started selling your product, you were ill for 7 years. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
So I was experiencing hives and swelling and itching, and no one could tell me why. I went to doctors. I looked online, and no one could tell me why. So I suffered for 7 years.
Wow.
Until I was properly diagnosed, and it was diagnosed as a corn allergy initially. Through further research and just the way that God moves, I was able to identify that it's genetically modified corn and soy and the genetically modified items that I not only was putting in my body, but putting on my body.
Oh.
Well, so now the doctors tell you about this allergy, or did you do research and find it out on your own?
Well, when I remember there was a point where I was laying in my bed. My daughter was with her dad this weekend, and I was itching, the itch is not an itch that you've ever felt. It itches to the bone. My lips were huge.
Kind of like eczema?
Worse.
Oh, okay.
Worse. And the hives are the blotchy red spots, and my sheets and my pillows were always had spots of blood on them because I would scratch because I couldn't get to the itch. And when I would take Benadryl or any another antihistamine,
Mm-hmm.
it would stop. It would curb the itch for a little while, and then it would kick it back up.
Oh, wow.
What I didn't realize is there was corn in the medicine that I was taking.
Wow.
Really?
So I remember I was laying there and I was yelling at God, and I was asking, why is this happening to me? Like, I've been a good girl. I've kept your commandments. I'm doing what this is a Friday night or a Saturday night, and I'm in the home. I'm in the bed early, alone. Why is this happening to me? And I remember hearing a voice that said, move. Now it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Move.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going at 3 o'clock in the morning? So I paused a little bit, and it took my mind off of the itch and the me looking outside of myself for answers. And so, within a few minutes, I'm back to screaming like, Jesus, help me. Why? And then the next time I heard it, I not only heard it, I felt it. It said move, and I felt the rumbling in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that scared me out of my bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know where he wanted me to move to.
Was it a spiritual move? You feel?
At the time, I didn't know what kind of move. I just knew I needed to move within my power.
You had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I started cleaning up the house, and I'm somewhat of a workaholic. The somewhat is a exaggeration. I'm very much a workaholic, and so I started doing laundry and stuff that I hadn't deep cleaning, and I look up and the sunlight is piercing through the window. The house smells like pine saw and Simply Green and bleach from the laundry room, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cook me some breakfast. I sat down to eat. While I'm doing that, let me go back to work. This is my day off, but I'm still gonna go back to work. I pulled up my laptop, was getting ready to sign in, and I heard a voice tell me to put in the search, hives, swelling, itchiness, and this time click on images. And popping up, I saw people who looked like me, the swollen lips,
Wow.
the hives, and it was amazing because when you're going through things, you always think you're alone,
Mm-hmm.
that nobody else is having this, no one else is experiencing this. And when I saw that, I started to understand the move. Because had I not got out of bed and
Right.
changed my pattern,
Mm-hmm.
I would have probably got up and start working and never sat down to really, never been open enough to hear any further instructions. And so from that point, I found on the internet JJ Virgin's diet plan. Now, she's a nutritionalist, and I didn't know anything about her, but I read where it says 7 foods to avoid to identify allergies. So I took my life back. I avoided those 7 foods for 21 days as per the instructions, and then I started incorporating things back into my diet one to 2 weeks at a time. One thing, 1 to 2 weeks at a time. The first thing I incorporated back was sugar, because I had been told
That would be a hard thing to get rid of.
no, I wanted to get it back.
That was the first thing on the list you put
Yeah.
back.
I put back. 'Cause
Yes.
I was like, I can't do without sugar. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And so
neither.
I had been told
Well,
that it was
thank you.
sugar. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I had been told that it was sugar. It was plastic. I had been told so many things that I was allergic to. I did the prick test. They had did many tests, and I was looking for the doctors and angry at the doctors for not being able to tell me why. But once I heard that move and I started taking my life back, I discovered it with the help of my doctor. But it was corn. The sugar didn't really affect me. And then the second,
Sugar's our friend.
absolutely organic sugar though.
Organic
now. And then the second week, I really wanted some Chipotle. And
I love some
love
Chipotle.
I really love the lime chips. Like, the best.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking
I
about.
was sitting in a meeting. My boss bought Chipotle for everyone. And of course, put me some lime chips on there. I've been into it. We're in a staff meeting. So this is, management. Like, this is, the big wigs. They're talking. We're all eating. We're sort of relaxed, but we're still listening and enjoying each other. My face just broke out in hives. I felt it get hot.
no.
I started scratching. My lips swelled up. My eyes swelled shut. My boss looked at me and was like, whoa.
Wow.
You need to go to the restroom.
Or go
I was
home.
like, no, he's like, you need to go check yourself.
Uh-huh.
And I felt it really hot, and I could feel when I went and looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my
Like
gosh.
it's back.
Wow.
So I said, okay, maybe it's corn. So, because they were corn chips, or the salt, or something that's in this bag. And I hadn't even gotten a
Or
chance
the plastic that it came in.
No, the corn chips come in that paper bag.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't even had a chance to bite into my burrito bowl. That's why I knew it had to be
love the
something.
burrito holes.
Absolutely, right? And then I called my doctor like the next day. I said, I think I know what it is. He says, and I was going to call you because we've discovered what it is. And we both said almost at the same time, it's corn. So I avoided corn. I stopped eating popcorn and corn on the cob and corn chips and all the good stuff, but I was still breaking out. I was still breaking out. I was, then I started reading labels. And I identified that it was that the antihistamines first ingredient, cornstarch. But I was at a party, at a get together, and I had already identified that it was also in my shampoo.
Corn?
Yes.
Wow.
It's also in your body wash, in the deodorants,
I'm about to check
in the
mine.
lotions, and they're different names. So they don't just say corn.
Okay.
They're different names: sorbitol, sorbitan,
Stuff you can't
dextrose,
pronounce.
maltodextrin. Well, when you break out enough for it, you get to doing the research and you look it up. And so I said, okay, I need to avoid that. I started getting my medication, antihistamines compounded, which means they make it specifically to your needs, and they took out the corn. So now I had something to help me combat, because I couldn't go, I'm not going to be able to avoid it 100%, because when I walk into the movie theater, and I love movies, inhaling the popcorn.
That does something to you too? Wow.
Also, it's an airborne allergy.
So it's ingested, inhaled, or topical. So if I put it on me, put it in me, or in me, either way, whether I'm eating it or
Smelling
inhaling
it.
it.
Wow.
And so I
That's amazing.
realized I can't find. So stop eating it was doable. Stop putting it on my body was harder.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't find the stuff that felt good, smelled good, because for a while I was using coconut oil out of the jar.
Like the cooking
That's what
coconut.
I use.
That's multi.
Yeah.
Now coconut oil is multi-purpose,
I use
but
coconut oil
yeah, you want to
as a moisturizer.
I didn't want to smell like it though.
you don't want to be slippery all day.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Slippery all day and smelling like coconut, or I started using olive oil as well, and I didn't want to smell like a salad.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about using olive oil.
Yeah, because I was buying the pure olive oil, but it I didn't want to smell like a salad, so I started creating stuff. So I couldn't find it that smelled good, felt good, and was good for my body, so I created it. And from there, people would say, because my nose, now if you give me a red drink and say, is this raspberry, cherry, strawberry? I'm like, I don't know. Like I really honestly don't know. But if I smell it, I do. So I have a really keen sense of smell.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, I mean, who knows where the blessings are coming from, right? And so I began to create my stuff. I took a few lotion making classes and soap making classes, but then I had to convert that to remove the glycerin and the citric acid and all the stuff that has corn in it. I had to convert it to corn free.
You like basically turned into a chemist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Pretty
said that very word I said, God, I'm not a chemist. I didn't go to
He's
school
like, well,
for
I'm
this.
about to show
I'll
you
make
that
you
you
a
are.
Right. And so I prayed, I meditated, and he showed me what to put in. I went to the soap salon is here in local in Sacramento. She's awesome, the owner, MJ. And when I walked in and I told her my issue, and this was a day I was itching, I put on a sweatshirt because I was getting ready to get in the shower. Then I know it was nothing but God said, read the back of that bottle. And I saw the corns. I saw this has like 5 corns in it. No wonder I'm itching.
Yeah.
And so I called her. She said, come on down. We're open for another hour. I went in. She had some ready-made soaps that were pure. And then I looked at her shelves and I saw the different essential oils that she has. It's like a kid. I was like a kid in a candy store. And what I needed was illuminated.
So God was showing you again.
Yes.
So you're basically this whole entire journey of coming to your product and everything is just you being able to open yourself up and God showing you, and you listen, and He leads you to where you need to go.
Right.
Now that soap shop, do you mind telling us what soap shop that is?
Yes, it's called the Soap Salon.
Okay.
And the owner is MJ Horton. Actually, she did a commercial. So if you go on my webpage or my Facebook, you'll be able to see. I was in her shop when she told me that one of my products not only was good for anxiety, but also good for pain. So she has been with me ever since I started making it. And I kid you not, when I said, okay, this is what I need now. I need something I need a lotion. And I saw peach, and I saw papaya, and it just illuminated. And I'm looking like, okay, so I bought these. I didn't know what I was going to use them for. But like I followed the instructions when he said move, I started walking. I don't know which direction I'm moving in, but I'm going to follow this. Took them home, and one of my best sellers is Invitation. It's Essence. It's the body cream. I use it on my face, my feet, and everywhere in between. And it has the scent of papaya and peach.
Nice.
And that's one of my
good.
And that was from the very beginning when I saw those two light up, illuminate.
So that product do you hold that product closer to your heart than a lot of the other products, since that was kind of your first one?
It is one of my favorites, but you know how God works in my life. That was my favorite, and now I have a new favorite, the Release, which is the I created for a client who was going through chemotherapy and could not sleep. So I created it as an anti-anxiety and a stress reliever. But then I found out that it also relieves pain. So you can put on your back. And so that's like my new favorite too. And just like when I saw the peach and the papaya that lit up, I go into the store and I see this oil that I had never heard of. And I reached in between all of the other ones and I smelled it and I was like, okay, I have to have this. It's amazing. And that's So I have a lot of favorites. I have a lot of favorites because it's all been inspired by God.
Yeah. And that's the best.
Yeah.
His
So-
inspiration.
So now I know we were talking about the person that you researched about, like, you know, energy and about, you know, good good vibes. What was the person that you researched on?
Mike Dooley.
Yeah, and you said you're certified.
Yes.
Now who's Mike Dooley?
Mike Dooley is a so if I may give you a little bit of background on
Sure.
Mike Dooley,
Mhm.
I was when I of course just following my spiritual guides, went on the internet and I saw this Notes from the Universe. I said, okay, what's this about? So I go to tut.com, which is this website. I see Notes from the Universe, and I see one of my favorite words, free.
Mine too.
How can I pass this up? And so as I signed up, and I was so drawn to his message and his Notes from the Universe. I saw that he was going to be close to me. He was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was like, oh, I signed up for the class, not knowing I was going to be trained as a certified trainer to help him deliver the message. And his message is thoughts become things.
Mhm.
And how you direct your energy
Mhm.
is what you think is what you pull in.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And so that's and Mike and I have been, he's been one of my mentors ever since. And when I went, it's amazing how when you walk in faith and you walk listening to your spiritual guides, and even when you don't know where you're moving,
Yeah.
and you just continue to walk in that direction, how you can look back and go, I see your
I see
plan.
Yeah.
I see your
I
plan.
understand now.
And I wrote a book called Choosing the Dance. Choosing the dance simply means choosing how you respond to situations. So you can say no thank you to cha-cha-cha that's not fitting your purpose at the moment, or you can say give me a moment, I don't feel like crunking right now, or hip-hop dance or whatever. And so I equate life with the dance, and in life we get to choose.
Absolutely. Life
Yes.
is a choice.
Definitely.
A lot of times we forget that. Now the subtitle, I finished this book years ago. The subtitle is
Can I see your book?
absolutely.
You're talking about your book?
Yes. The subtitle is Recognizing Your Purpose in the Pain. I didn't know it at that time, but here again, look at how God works.
Yes, beautiful.
My
I have
purpose,
a picture on the back.
Mhm.
It's glowing.
she cleans up a little bit.
See your purpose?
Keep going.
My purpose in the pain of the itching and the swelling and the hiving was now, not only do I have a body care line that I'm leaving a legacy for my family, but I'm able to help others.
Absolutely.
I'm helping me, so I
Yeah.
made it for me, but I'm sharing it with the world because
True.
there are so many people. I didn't know that I had a corn allergy or that genetically modified organisms affected me like they do.
And I didn't know corn can do that.
Yeah.
To people.
Yes, I didn't either until I was in the deep end of the pool and didn't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so now my message to people is, if you can, first of all, do you know how a seed is genetically modified?
No, no.
Let me just share
How
this
is
with
it?
you. So the seed, so this all came about because farmers were losing crops because the bugs were eating them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to stay on top of that because these bugs were eating the crops, and they were losing money. So scientists took the seeds and they put the chemical, the pesticide, in the seed.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so horrible.
So now when the corn or the soy or when it grows, you don't have to spray it because it's in it. It's in its DNA now.
Oh, wow.
So the myth, I'll call it a myth, the scientists report that there's not enough pesticide in the food to harm us as humans.
Goodness.
Uh-huh.
But when a bug eats it, their stomachs explode.
Mm-hmm.
Their intestines explode. So then the rest of the bugs will stay away from it because you see what's happening to your partner. He ate that corn.
Now he's gone.
Let's get away from that crop.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
not coming back home.
Right.
And so in third world countries and even in ours, it has its benefits because now we can feed more people. However, there has to be a better way. So I'm not speaking out against trying to move forward. You know, I'm not speaking out against that. I just say as a community, we have to be smarter with our food choice.
Mm-hmm.
So genetically modified, like corn, and the last time I checked, it was like 90% of corn is genetically modified.
Wow.
That's a
And
huge chunk of corn.
That's
90%.
sad to even hear.
Yeah.
The pesticide that's used, one of the pesticides that's used is the same active ingredient as found in Roundup. You know the Roundup you spray on weeds and it kills them? Would you like a dropper full of that?
I don't know.
How about just a drop
Oh,
on a
goodness.
plate of spaghetti? So that's on your corn on the cob. Just put a little drop. It won't hurt you. What if I said it won't hurt you?
No thanks.
Well, I'm here to tell you just the opposite. It affected me, and it affected me. I went to the emergency room 3 times because my throat, what I saw on the outside, was happening to my body on the inside, and my throat closed up, and I couldn't
Oh, wow.
breathe. And so I could have lost my life.
EpiPen.
Yeah. So I went to the emergency room, and I'm so polite. I walked in. There was nobody there. She asked me to have a seat. I could barely talk. I could barely breathe. She thought I had a sore throat. She goes, "We'll be right with you." I'm like, okay.
Oh no.
Instead of saying, "No,
like
I
yeah, like
can't,
this is
something
emergency.
suffocated.
I'm
Yes.
so polite. So I'm sitting there waiting my turn. Thank God there was nobody else there. And when she pulled me up, the triage nurse pulled me over, and she says, "What's going on?" And I could barely talk. She goes, "You have a sore throat?" I was like, "No, I can't breathe." She goes, "It's flu season." So I said, "I'm just itchy." She said, "Oh, well, let me see." And I pulled up my shirt. She was like, "Oh my
allergic
God,
reaction.
yeah." And then she
Yeah,
called
that's something
stat.
serious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the
And even then, God kept you because you sitting there, your throat is closing and the airwaves are being cut off, and yet you waited until somebody came in to help you.
yeah,
God was showing you. You
there's a
still belong to
purpose.
me.
There's a purpose.
Yeah.
So the purpose and all the pain was so that now I can stand up and I can say, I know that you may not have your lips swelling like I did. You may not be itching like I did. But even the subtle clues of tingling fingers, and you don't know why. You eat something and then your fingers are tingling. That was one of the clues. I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
That's your body trying to tell you, hey, something's going on. Now, I'm not saying that is the only reason your fingers were tingle, but when you feel something different, it could be that we're putting in our body. Well,
Yeah, well, that's like the same thing with the deodorant. That's why when I talked to you on the phone, the first thing I went to was like, "Do you have any deodorant?" Because I've had really nasty allergic reactions to deodorants. I mean, like on my counter at home, I have like 6 different deodorants, and the doctor told me, "Oh, just try it, and then for 2 weeks, and if you feel the tingling, then don't use that one." So when I ran across you, you're a lifesaver to me. Because I smell like the deodorant that I use, I smell like kind of like lemon all day, like fresh out the shower, all day. I don't feel the tingling. I know it's natural. I know it's not gonna like cause me cancer later on, and it's just wonderful. I'll endorse your product. Yeah, absolutely. Can we see some of your products?
Absolutely. So what I want to show you first is this is. I brought some sample sticks here.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
This is that first one that I told you about.
What's the name of this one?
This is Essence.
Oh.
I guess I should be showing it, right? And that scent is Invitation.
Okay.
And so, would you like to try?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So on this, everything that I do, I'm somewhat of an extremist. You only need a little bit.
Thank you.
It goes on a bit oily initially. It goes on a bit oily initially, but then
Check
after
the
you,
bottle.
yes, after you put it on, within 2 to 5 minutes, your skin absorbs the oil, and you're just left with the moisture.
Smells so good. This smells really good.
Yes. Now I know you were telling me your products they doesn't have water in them.
No.
Now why
Wow.
why is that? Because water is not bad for us, is it? Or
Well,
Our body's 90%, 80% water.
right, but if you just put water on your skin, so the truthful answer to that is I don't know why I was led not to put water in it.
Okay.
Because when I learned to create them, I learned to put water in them because it was a different process. But as I started making them, and again, I'm not a chemist. This is all inspired by God, so it somehow ended up without water, which makes it shelf sustainable.
that's why.
That's why.
And,
Okay.
But I didn't. That was not the plan. Does that make sense?
Wow. Because
Yes, it does.
almost
But that
everything you
wasn't
look
my
at has
plan.
water in it. So for you not to have like a master's or a PhD in chemistry,
Right.
and you're able to make some products like this is absolutely
Amazing.
amazing.
But who is the master?
God.
Yes.
You got it.
And
Yeah.
so I I can't even take the credit. I'm so humbled that he chose me.
Smells like brown sugar a little bit.
It does.
And each person, because it's all natural, is going to absorb, and then it's going to pull out your natural scent with it. So it's going to smell different.
Yeah, you're not, with this
That
product.
smells
You're
brown.
not going to be ashy. Like it really gets under your skin, and it really smells really nice.
It does.
Is there another product you want to show us?
Yes.
I
So
really like this because being a teacher, I clean my hands like 1,000 times a day, and I'm always putting lotion in, and it's always drying out, so my hands are all wrinkly looking by the end of the day.
So this one is my daughter. She just cut her hair. She became an adult, and so she wanted to cut it all out. But she has really thick hair, and she wanted to. She was constantly scratching, and so I said, okay, what is I'm taking care of everything else, and I was just moved to create something for her. This right here is called I call it Liberate. I have two different versions of something for your dry, itchy scalp. Now this is for your hair, so I'll just pass it to you, and if you want to, you can. This is for your dry, itchy scalp. You can feel the texture. This is a lighter version, and
we
even
could share that one.
Yeah.
even smell it.
I'm going to share this one.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Oh, let me look
it
at that.
smells kind of like lemon.
Yeah, it does. And I'm always going through like hair products. Like my hair
Very nice.
sucks up hair products.
Yes, very
So
good.
lemon is very good for dry skin. Lemon is very good for everyone has a fungus on their scalp. Now sometimes it's overactive. That's just how we were made. It's not because you're nasty. That's just how we're made. Lemon is really a really good astringent and really good for. And this is stuff that I was led to go research this, and I did, and then I found let me okay, this is why you want me to put some lemon in it, and it has also some pink grapefruit, some lime, tea tree, of course, eucalyptus. So all the good antifungal, antibacterial properties, and within a couple of weeks, she had stopped scratching like that. Like her scalp was really, really dry.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is, well, I'm going to get this one for the camera, but I'll get a tester. This is Release,
Oh.
one of my new favorites. And this is the anxiety one that I told you about.
Oh, see, earlier before we started interviewing, she let us. Is it the same thing you had us rubbing our hands and we cupped our hands and we smelled it, and it was so nice.
It was, and it smelled so good.
Yes.
And the smell actually stayed. It lingered.
Now I have a question for you before I forget. Can kids use this?
Yes.
Can animals use this?
Well, I have. I've only had one dog in my adult life since I've had the corn allergy. Our dog was constantly scratching. We rescued her. Here, use this one. That's a brand new one. We rescued her from the SPCA, and she was constantly scratching. I looked at the bag of food that they gave us to take home, and it had so much corn in it. I changed her diet, and then I started putting some of my invitation on it, the essence, and she stopped scratching.
Wow.
So she was a Maltese, so she would walk around like a little diva with her, with her after her bath, and so so I have used it. I have not researched to see what the So I can't endorse and say, okay, you can use this on 99% of dogs, because that's not but I use it on mine. And I do have clients that buy it for their children, for their babies, for a cradle cap, eczema, for the essence, and it works wonders.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, where can people find your product at?
They can find it at tkscreations.com, so www.tkscreations.com. That's TKSCREATIONS.com. I also do events, but they're for sure. They can find it. I am in Prana Blessings in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and that information will be on my page.
Okay.
And then I'm also here locally at Professional Village Pharmacy, and that's on Professional Drive in the Arden area.
Okay.
And they're carrying currently the release. So go in and ask for it.
Get the release. Yes.
Go in and ask for it so we can get more products in the store.
Yes.
Now, I saved my absolute favorite. This was probably my second one, and I haven't told you about this, so I've been holding out. I'm somewhat of a germaphobe.
Okay.
So I needed to create a hand sanitizer.
Oh.
I carry one in my purse.
So do you know that the stuff that you probably have in your purse has probably about 2 to 3 different alcohols, which is made from corn, but it's also very drying.
Yes. It's very true.
So I
because
did.
it smells like alcohol.
Yeah, it smells like alcohol, and your skin is itching afterwards. So this one, because there are no preservatives or anything that's going to tie everything together, you shake it prior to use. It's like a shake to activate.
Yeah.
That's my little saying. And then you just, when you spray it on your hand, cup it, because it's going to, just, and now rub it together.
Ooh, I can smell it from here.
Yeah. Smells nice.
That's probably one of my favorites. And then this one, you said that when you go and use the restroom, and you're constantly have to wash your hands up, that's going to stay. Isn't that lovely?
That smells like Starburst.
It does.
It looks like one of the red Starbursts. Wow.
I was just thinking that too. Like, I was thinking more of a Skittle.
I'm gonna buy your whole product line. I'm like, here's my credit card, here's my debit, here's my checkbook. Just give it
put it on my
to
tub.
Yes, this is so
I love
wonderful.
it.
To me, this one smells like joy. Not the dishwashing liquid, but the emotion.
It does make
It
me so
does.
happy.
I know. We're like,
It smells like joy.
I love this.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And I just want to cap everything off, because now I do seminars and I speak and I help people getting the GMOs out of their cabinet. My first thing is not only the kitchen cabinet but the bathroom cabinet. Don't try to do it all at once, because you'll be overwhelmed.
I have
and you'll give
Clorox
up.
in my bathroom cabinet, always little wipes.
Well, one at a time. Just
Yeah,
one product at a time.
In the kitchen, my recommendation is start with sugar or salt. So salt, that iodize.
I have to have salt on everything.
How about sea salt?
Sea salt.
Himalayan
Yeah.
salt.
There you go.
There
So
you go.
the iodine, anything that started.
I can't
as-
taste salt. I will not eat the food.
Yeah, I don't like bland either.
Yeah.
But anything that started off as a solid,
Mm-hmm.
when you grind it up like salt, you put it in a container. What's it gonna want to do?
Clump back
Go
together.
back to its natural form.
Mm-hmm.
So they put corn syrup solids in it.
And regular salt?
Hmm
Oh.
Or something to keep it from
Clumping.
going back together.
Mhm.
So when you're eating salt, you're not only eating salt, if you're eating the iodized salt, because there's other things in
Oh
there.
wow.
The same with sugar, because sugar,
I put sugar in
corn.
my coffee.
I do. Yeah, corn, but I use organic. Corn is cheaper than cane. So in your bag of store brand sugar, there's corn syrup solids in there
Yeah, I have
to keep
CNH.
it from. They have organic sugar at Costco. Very reasonable, 10-pound bag for about $8.
Oh, that's not
That's
bad
worth
at
it.
all.
That's absolutely
That's
worth
worth
it.
your health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
It
so,
is.
if I may share one last thing.
Sure.
And we were going in this direction, but I get so excited when I think about, and very humbled when I think about me being chosen as the vessel for this. I just want to say, after I went through all this, and I began to study infinite possibilities with Mike Dooley, and I became a trainer, and in preparation for the class, my daughter noticed, because every so often I would take she and her friends out to there's cream puffs. I don't know if you've ever heard of cream puffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Elk Grove. Oh my gosh. I see we can't hang out together.
Yeah.
So bad.
I'm like, mm-hmm.
So imagine a hot glazed jelly donut, but let's take the jelly out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
please,
like
yeah,
jelly.
I like jelly.
Cut it in half and put your favorite ice cream in there.
Oh,
Oh.
goodness.
And so I would take my daughter and her friends. They would go in. I would sit in the car. This is when she was about 15. I would sit in the car and I would watch them come out or sitting there eating. I would read a book or something. One day I decided to go in. After about my third trip of being in there eating cream puffs, and within like 2 weeks, my daughter says, "Isn't it amazing that you're no longer allergic to corn?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
What?
What do you mean? I had not even realized that under Mike's teaching and studying for the class and infinite possibilities, where you focus your energy,
Mm-hmm.
your mind, soul, body, and spirit will follow.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would feel like, before studying this, if I would want to eat some ice cream, I would say,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm going to go ahead and eat it because I really want it, but I'll have my pills because I know I'm going to break out.
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen?
You break
I
out.
would break out. After studying the class and preparing for the class, I would say, you know what, I'm going to eat this. I'm not going to break out. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to be fine. So I no longer have the corn allergy.
Yay!
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
And you have
That's
a
a
beautiful
testimony.
product line.
Isn't
Wow.
that, yes, it's amazing.
You went through
And
the
so-
pain, the suffering, and now
Yeah.
you have this wonderful thing to help other people.
Yes.
Powerful testimony
Yes,
of what
yes.
God can
Yes.
do. Like he's
It's
a miracle
amazing.
worker.
It's amazing. So I recognize the purpose in the pain. I look beyond the pain.
Yes.
I embrace the pain.
Yeah.
And now I'm walking in my purpose.
That's
wonderful.
amazing.
So one more time, how can people find your books? How do people find your product? Tell them one more time.
Yes, I almost forgot.
Yes.
My book, Cornography,
Oh, I love that. I love that name.
Nice title.
will be out. It's in editing now, so I'm shooting for by the end of the year.
Uh-huh.
And that can be found on www.tkscreations.com. So www.tkscreations.com.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much
you.
for sharing your story with me.
Thank you
know,
for having me.
yeah,
Thank you.
even we were talking on the phone before you came here. It was just wonderful just talking to you. You have
Thank
a really
you.
nice energy
Spirit.
about you. Absolutely, very
Anointed.
comfortable. Yes.
Anointing spirit of God.
You gonna
On
see me
your
just
life.
shouting up
Oh,
Hallelujah.
all right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Well, I really enjoyed my time with you ladies. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. We learned so much.
And have
Yes.
me back because it's hard. You know,
Yeah.
you can't tell everything in one. So
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
me back.
you've educated
Definitely.
a lot of people.
No,
Yes.
we're good,
Yes.
and that's the purpose.
Yes. So Queens
Borrow
of
my
Queens,
sanitizer.
Queens of Queens Radio here. Queen Maisha here,
Queen Shavaka.
and
TK Daniels.
yes, thank you for
Thank you.
listening, and we will see you guys next time.